Yeah, I think I was playing one song, and I forget that like there's a 10-year, almost 15-year gap between some of me and the artists that come to Limelight Vibes. So it's like they're not gonna appreciate Lemonade. Like,
Some of the references they wouldn't even get. Anyway.
Yeah, that too. But the references were crazy because like Nick, I leave your girl leaking like an anal. What is like I be all up in that ass like an anal rape and leave your girl leaking like a sex tape. Nigga, you can't say that these days.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bar from you.
I mean,
you can't get away with that in 2025.
I mean, you can say it, but I mean,
nah, nigga, you can't say that.
I mean, you can say whatever you want. The repercussions are going to be different.
Nah, because niggas gonna think when you say I'll leave your girl leaking like a sex tape, they gonna think you killed her.
Yeah.
Or you beat her to death.
I mean, I think the anal rape part might really be the cancel culture, like for real.
Yeah. Like I said, you can say anything. It's just the repercussions of everything. Of what
That
you
part.
say.
But honestly, I remember when that line hit me, and I was like, "Yo, this shit fire!"
Yo, an anal bar is crazy being fire.
An anal rape bar at that. Like, God damn.
Pay programming. This episode is brought to you by Looking Back. Ladies, look back at it. Look back at what you do when you make that thing do what it do. Appreciate it. Feel confidence in it. Love it. We sure as hell do. But only look back at it. Don't look back at us, because we don't want to be caught. What could we possibly be doing that we could probably feel guilty about if we were found out? Staring at your chocolate starfish. Now, as much as I like to wrongfully generalize a large group of people unnecessarily, this might be one of the few times that I am spot on. Just about every man on planet Earth has taken an extended stare at the true third eye when hitting it from behind. We kind of can't help it. There's something mesmerizing about staring into the elusive tunnel of wonder. Without using the back-end brown-down barn door as a point of focus, we start thinking about dumb shit. Like that scene from The Office where Jim comes in dressed as Dwight, and Dwight screams identity death is not a joke, and that millions of people suffer from it every year. Classic. But it's not your fault. It's our personal North Pole. My suggestion to keep us from looking at it? Get your ex's name tattooed above your ass crack. Because I'll be damned if I stare at the name Tyreek for 45 minutes. Now let's start the episode.
Our sins and woes. Our sins and woes. Our sins and woes.
Welcome to episode 100 of the Absence of Woes podcast.
Yeah.
The podcast where a bunch of dumbass millennials talk about their dumbass opinions, their dumbass perspectives, dumbass mistakes, and their dumbass complaints. I'm your host, Nelson. Thank you for joining me today. 795 production in the building.
What's good, bitches? What's good, y'all?
And by returning episode 1 guest, like episode 16, episode 34, episode 56.
Yeah.
What are you, a 7-time? No, you're probably an 8-time champ now, aren't you?
I think it's 8.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
might be
I think
number
so.
8. Which is funny because I think I fucked up last time Brandon was on, and I said, like, Brandon, you're in the lead of a podcast edit. And then I'm like, wait, nigga, you just recorded 8 episodes ago with J. Pat and Carter. So, and Carter's actually catching up because we just did Streets of Consciousness 6, and that was, and he's been on twice. So actually, you might be tied with Carter at
That-
8 because
that
we've
was a
done
fun
6
time.
Streams of Consciousness,
Yeah.
and then he's come on actually twice.
On some J shit, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Jays.
You know what I'm saying? Big
But
J's.
had to bring back a special guest for our 100 episode milestone. So we bring back our episode 1 guest, the nigga that was there when we first started this podcast back in the Montclair Library. Shout out to Growth. Growth is a beautiful thing.
Gang,
Yeah.
And
gang.
we have come a long motherfucking way.
Fuck yeah.
Even I told y'all we were gonna make a big transition from 99 to 100. You're welcome. The way it looks, a lot more grayscale, and I wanted to aim for that. So if you're listening to this audio only, subscribe to the YouTube channel, YCC or YouTube.com/@YCC Entertainment. If you put the @ it just makes it easier than trying to like YouTube search YCC Entertainment. But shout out our Patreon, shout out our YCC philanthropists, our lovers of Woes, and our fans of Ascend, getting this episode extra early because I might keep the whole episode as a free nigga episode. I don't think I have any super raunchy topics that get anybody in trouble, so we should be good. He's like, yeah, I might switch on the Patreon at some point. We'll play it. But shout out Limelight Vibes every Wednesday, open mic, Woodbridge, Virginia. The only uncensored open mic you're gonna find in all of Woodbridge area. And one of the few uncensored open mics you're gonna find in the DMV. So unless you want to go to Baltimore and get shot,
Wow.
risk you're worth taking. I'm not. Why I
Wow.
run my hair.
Jeez. Escalated so fast. There's no in between. Can I just settle for a small mugging?
No.
You can go to DC for
Small
that.
carjacking.
Go to DC. That'll happen.
Yeah, like they'll bust your windows for no reason. They'll bust your windows and not take shit. That's how DC.
Fuck
bro.
this car.
Literally, just because it's clean and it looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Have a nice shit up here. They thinking.
That part. But yeah, shout out Light Vibes every Wednesday, except the weekend of the week of the 26th. We're on spring break because I like to have my team get some time off. But in Love and Limelight Vibes, we've been building up the team. Got a couple additional helping hands to help make that show flow as seamlessly as possible. Shout out Blur Watch, still pushing out episodes at least once a month. I try to be on their asses about that. To Protest the Riot should be coming back in May. I'm saying that. I might be lying, but that's my goal, is to bring it back in May. Because my June is busy. Yeah, my June is busy. You know, I'm going back up to Washington at the end of that month, too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'll be in Washington for like 2.5 weeks.
They got a hella measles outbreak out there, too.
I don't give a fuck about that.
I was just saying.
RFK is going to save me, nigga.
Hmm.
What was that? What's gonna save you?
RFK.
Oh, okay.
RFK said it's not a big deal.
Yeah, all right.
The fucking measles, bro.
What was the last pandemic that we had where everybody thought it wasn't a big deal at first and then it turned into a global? Oh.
COVID.
Yeah. Niggas still suffering from that shit.
Nothing was the same.
Still got the same dumbass
Shout out Drizzy.
Yeah. Little do we know.
But yeah, I mean, I trust our current administration. I didn't vote for him, but that's what America voted for. So if they trust him, I trust him.
I'm like the other 92% of us. It's just standing by and watching shit happen.
Bro, we're going to get into that. Because you know me, I'm an agent of chaos. So I love to watch other people bite their own words,
Yeah.
let alone eat them.
It's funny when their spouses get deported. I'm like, that's what you voted for.
Hey, I'm on the same energy.
I
Don't
don't
get mad
know
because you got
if-
fired.
I don't know if it's funny is the words I would use.
No,
but
it's funny. It's actually hilarious.
it's
No,
ironic for
Voting
sure.
for the nigga, putting the nigga in charge that fired you is hilarious.
Yeah.
Say Walmart. Shit. Walmart, open up!
Oh, shit.
Shout out Tommy McClellan. My brother thought I was replacing him with white boys, and I was like, nah, they're not a part of YCC. They're just renting out the studio. So shout out Tommy McClellan for always renting out the studio and always doing side work with him as far as boosting his time, his comedy career. Shout out Kathleen. Always doing work with her. Got a meeting with her after this podcast, actually. So looking forward to that, of an upcoming project that I'll be working on with her. For our shout outs, that's all I got. Already introduced my guest. Not doing a sin of the day, not doing a will of the week. Plug of the week you cannot find on SoundCloud. I'm on demon time today, and I'm allowed to do that because I'm in the 99th, the 1% percentile, the 1 percentile, 1% percentile. How do you say that?
1 percentile?
I'm in the, but that doesn't make
top
sense if you said
1%.
it. I'm in the top 1 percentile.
Top 1%?
No, that just sounds corny. 1% sounds corny.
But that's the
I'm a
actual-
1 percenter. No, you got to say it more. It sounds more formal to say I'm in the 1 percentile.
No, you sound like a nigga. It's the top.
Trying, sound like a nigga trying too hard.
Yes. I'm in the top 1%.
I'm not exactly sure of the uses of percentile versus like percent. So it's kind of
It's literally top 1%.
But I think this is where that nigga shit he's talking about comes in. Like, you know what I'm saying? That top 1% tile just sound more fancy, you know what I'm saying? You got to drink like this when you say percentile.
With the
you know?
pinky up. Shout out SpongeBob SquarePants. It's a crazy plug. But yeah, I'm allowed to do that because I'm in the top 1%. And if you don't like it, get in the top 1% too. And all you got to do is do 22 episodes of a podcast and you'll be there too.
Nice. Just
So,
20?
Yeah, 21 is like 90% of podcasts don't get past episode 3.
That's crazy.
And then of that 90%, of that 10%, 90 more don't get to 21. Don't get past 21. So once you hit 22 episodes, you're instantly in the 1 percentile of your podcast.
Because they either get canceled.
Shout out Blur Watch because they're also in the 1%.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, though.
So I forgot about that. Blur Watch is in the 1% too. Shout out
shit.
Do Some Brand Easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get into these topics. I don't know where I want to start. Oh, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. The long way that we have come in such a small amount of time. First of all, I want to say I appreciate both of you for being there since the beginning.
Yeah.
That Tinder idea still lives rent-free inside my head about the dog. Still to this day,
Is that even still like a thing?
4 or 5 years later, still lives rent-free
Is
in
like
my head.
online dating still like a thing now? Because
Yes,
like,
they are still using Tinder. Yeah.
110%.
I have coworkers that use Hinge.
I just saw literally a video on Instagram the other day, and the guy was like, "Yo, I'm about to delete my Tinder and just get a dog," because it's like a dude walking down the street with a dog, and he passes like 10 women, they all come running up to him. Like,
exactly. Like, oh, such a
it's so
cute dog.
bro, clockwork, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works anymore. I'm starting to learn that people in public don't know how the people in public anymore. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
The Tinder thing, the English issue still lives rent free in my head. But Jeremy hates English teachers because they force him to use a comma. And that you can kill somebody effectively if you put no commas in a long sentence.
No commas, no periods, baby.
You're not gonna breathe.
You trying to tell me your dumb ass is gonna keep talking till you run out of run?
And honestly, that's actually fucking crazy to think about. Like, you're not gonna have the common sense to be like, maybe I should take a breath right here.
Nope.
But
Because the writer told me to keep reading it
until I can't anymore. I guess I don't know.
till I get to the end of the sentence.
Bro, honestly, if I was in high school and I heard that, I would bring that up to my English teachers to be like, so you mean to tell me if I don't use this comma, someone could lose their breath? Not their brain saying, oh, hey, maybe I should breathe right here. But they're just going to keep on reading?
See, but that's where growth comes into play, bro. Because, episode 1 me was like, this stupid bitch don't know when to breathe, right? Episode 100 me recognizes that sometimes people are on the spectrum, bro. They need help with this type of stuff,
That's not what I thought.
Okay, so this
with.
spectrum conversation kind of drives me to fucking insane because shout out Java, our host of Limelight Vibes, shameless plug. Java was the one that told me that if you like Sonic the Hedgehog, Goku, and it was somebody else, then you're on the spectrum of autism. It was the Triforce of autism.
Huh.
I can't remember what 3 characters it was, but it was Sonic, Goku, and somebody else, and that means you're on the spectrum.
I can understand if it was like Knuckles and Goku, but then again, Knuckles is kind of like Vegeta.
No, 3 different people from 3 different franchises. I gotta find the clip.
The weird part about that is it's the syndrome effect, from the Incredibles.
If everybody's
right?
super, nobody is.
If everybody on the spectrum, then
Nobody's on the spectrum.
it's getting to that point where I'm like, it don't even matter if you're on the spectrum anymore.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck. That's gonna drive me insane until I find it.
But that's actually fucking crazy to think about, though.
With Sonic the Hedgehog, he gravitates toward an obsession with Sonic the Hedgehog. Dynamite. It's okay. There's levels.
That's crazy.
Hold on.
Think about that.
This is Goku, Spider-Man, and Sonic.
There it is. Goku, Spider-Man, and Sonic.
3 characters.
I don't even fuck with this dude no more, bro.
He said if you like Goku, Spider-Man, and Sonic, you're on the spectrum of autism.
Damn, Brandon might be on the spectrum then.
Yikes!
But
You just
he
start
was-
exclusively rated. I like all 3 of those characters too, bro. That's why I don't fuck with that man no more.
But the argument started from Napoleon Dynamite. He was like, if you really want to do a test on your kid to find out if they're on the spectrum, put Napoleon Dynamite and see how they react. And if they really like Napoleon Dynamite, they might be low-key autistic.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because it's just like, I hate when people saying like, oh yeah, if you're a musician, you stem all the fucking time. I'm like, just because I randomly sing fucking lyrics to something, when I hear it in conversation, I mean I'm stemming. I just like music. Fuck off.
Yeah, the spectrum conversation.
That's a fire shirt. I just realized that.
Arise.
Side note.
Arise.
Super side note.
Can't tell the people my secret though.
Wait, what?
The whole show.
Oh,
It's a documentary about my life.
that's actually crazy.
Yeah, I was born in Korea.
That's actually also crazy. No, you weren't.
Yeah, deep down, I'm actually like a 6'4" Korean man.
Shut the fuck up.
Aren't you only like 6'2"?
Yeah. Also black as shit. Let's not forget that.
Side note, did you see that clip from 98 with Sarah when she was like, we should just normalize applications?
No.
She was like, we should just normalize applications. And I was like, I'm cool with that if I can alleviate putting my height on it. And she was like, can we put like a above, below a certain height? I was like, nope. She was like, well, you know, I don't mind. I was like, no height, no salary. She was like, fuck that. Which is funny because all the niggas that was on the social medias was commenting, well, women should be required to put their weight on the applications too. I'm
mean,
like, oh my God.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Weight and height. See, that's the thing. Weight is relevant to height, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Even if you're a 6'2" female and you say you weigh 250, I got questions.
But it looks
You're
different.
probably gonna be a bigger girl.
It looks different.
But if you tell me you 5'2" and you weigh the same amount, bro, like I already know.
What is Childish Gambino? Zalotza Stockholm. He's like, I am 390, 5'3", and I am 390s, and I am a sexy bitch.
I want to be like that Uber driver that was all over social media, like
Nigga.
this car.
Nigga.
And they pulled her on the Breakfast Club too. Crazy fucking work.
She should have
And
been
she
fucking
was like,
ashamed.
can I get a bigger chair?
But you know
At
what?
the Breakfast Club.
Shout out
should've
to
been
my nigga for
ashamed.
standing 10 toes down because I don't know if his car was gonna make it. I'm not going.
No, she knew better. She should have gotten a fucking Uber X.
Bro, my CRV wouldn't make it. Fuck that.
She knew better.
I could lower down. She could lay down in the back row.
He looked at her. He said, "Nah, this car can't carry." I was like, "Yo, this nigga's
Oh,
a
fuck. But the thing is, she couldn't be mad because she knew that was going to happen.
No, there's a way. And he was being an asshole, okay? Devil's
definitely
advocate.
being an
He was
asshole.
being an asshole because what he could have did was laid down all the rows in his car, okay?
It was
he
a small car.
It wasn't small enough where you couldn't lower the back seats. So he could layer the back seats, had to lay her head on the front, the very front row passenger seat, and then just lay across and have her legs at the fucking the trunk.
But then wouldn't she roll around when he's making a turn?
Nah, bro.
No, she would. Actually, that's not how gravity works.
Yep. No, when
She would have been still.
when you put something really, really heavy in something, bro, it tends to just kind of stay
Stay
where it's
still.
at. Yeah, bro. Yep.
I was thinking of like a roly-poly.
No,
No.
If anything, the one thing I probably would have been concerned about is just like when he hits the acceleration, his shit might pop a willy. And that's something that's hard to recover from. So I can understand that was
because you can't equal out the force on the forward lean.
correct. Yeah, bro. Like you
Trying to
throw
stop your
yourself
feet.
forward and shit. Like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Get back down.
Hey, yo, disclaimer. As a fat nigga, as a former fat nigga, because I'm getting skinny, I can talk about this shit.
Time out.
I'm not even gonna hold you, Eric.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, I swear, from that video, that lady was like, two of you put together, bro.
Yeah.
This is not the same conversation, bro. Like, that lady was big, bro.
But yeah, but see, like, y'all motherfuckers skinny. So if they gonna get you, but they ain't gonna come after me, 'cause I'm gonna be like, I mean,
So here's the actual funny part. As somebody who sells cars, right?
I already know where you're going with this.
Somebody who sells cars, I know exactly what car that man had.
That's hilarious.
And I know that he was being an asshole because I've sold that exact car to a lady that was her size.
I'm done.
Now, granted, she was going to be driving the car, so we didn't have to worry about the whole Papa Willie situation when she hit the gas. But
You just had to worry about one side.
She
leaning
would have
to
been
the other.
rolling to the side like a Fast and
Bro,
Furious movie.
I shit you not, when she sat down in that car for the first time,
That's all you heard?
I prayed to the high heavens, bro, that car was going. I saw that whole thing just lower. I was like, please, Lord, get the suspension strength. But it wasn't a good look, bro.
But hey, after you sold the car, it's not your problem no more.
Bro, that's what she could afford. It wasn't my problem. That's what she had to get into because she was looking at me like, "You think I'm gonna be able to fit in that?" And I was like,
You ain't got no choice.
"Listen, ma'am, I didn't put you in this situation. I'm trying to get out of it, okay?"
Bro,
Oh shit.
that question would have me have such a dickhead response to be like, I don't know, can you fit in there?
Yeah, we are 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes into this bitch, and I'm crying right now.
Yeah, because we're just cooking people right now. But yeah, no, bro.
We were supposed to be talking about the progress of this podcast.
Hey, we've made some progress.
Yeah.
We are a little bit more. We're allowed to be louder. There it is.
Yeah.
Since episode 1, because we're not in a public space like that no more.
Right. But no, she could use some progress by like eating less.
I mean, listen, bro. Like,
You know what she needs progress in? Feeling less confident in that weight. That's the problem.
True.
The problem really isn't, at the end of the day, the problem isn't that you're super fucking, or it's not that you're overweight. It's that you're confident in that weight.
But you want to know why though? My 600-pound life. All them big people are in a relationship.
Now, it's really just because of, now this is one of them times that this ain't Two Protesters to Riot podcast, but I'm going to attack my Democrats here. It's that woke agenda. You push that woke agenda and you sit there and say, no, you can't fat shame. So now,
Yes, the fuck you
we
can.
allowed, well, no, you technically can't. Yes, you should. No, you can't.
Bullying does work.
Yes, you should. No, you can't. So we're not allowed to shame the fat people for being fat. And then you got motherfuckers like Lizzo, previous Lizzo, because she out here fat shaming now. But you got motherfuckers.
Crazy.
Shout out to Ozempic. Allegedly.
I actually want to talk about that, but
Lesser of two evils.
we'll circle back to that one. Because apparently that trade-off is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I
It's
did
fucking
not.
ridiculous.
But yeah, that's what it is. We're in a day and age where you're not allowed to fat shame, so that leads to people feeling more confident in fat because they're allowed to be that. And it's, technically, yes, you are allowed to be that, but I don't have to feel okay with you being okay that you're fat.
Yeah.
So, fuck me, the progress of this podcast. 'Cause we're gonna tangent all episode. I know this. This shit is hard. And you know what was the reminder of this shit is hard? Now, as much as I hate Joe Budden, and where he's been since like Rory and Maul left, because obviously you had to get 5 niggas to fill in the role of Rory and Maul.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is crazy, but Rory and Maul are just that good. They're really good at podcasting. I give them credit. I think they're really good at being a part of the culture and giving a fuck what the culture has to say. But Joe Budden is one of my favorite quotes by him. Is like, I love when you niggas fail. When he was talking about other podcasters, and he was like, I love when you niggas bump your head. I love when you niggas get in the game, think you're gonna make it, bump your head a couple times, and then get out because ain't no money in it.
Right.
And that'd be one of the hardest things I have to explain to other people that be like, yo, what can you tell me? I want to start my own podcast and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, don't try to get rich.
Exactly.
That's rule number 1. Don't try to make money off of this. The money is not in podcasting. Podcasting has never been for me about making money. It's always been an outlet for me to get my shit off, for me to give a platform to other people that have space to get the shit off. You, obviously, you don't need a platform to get your shit off, but you're one of my friends. You're a childhood friend. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I know I can have outletted conversations with somebody like this. Right. Then I have new people that come on that, like artists, that come on or comedians that come on, and they use this as a outlet for, pushing their brands as well as, finding another source to get their shit out or advertise themselves and stuff like that. But I always tell people, it's like, bro, it's really just a marketing scheme. That's what podcasting is for. It's to market yourself. It's to market whatever product you have to offer. I come in here and say all the time, yeah, I do videography, but I don't use this podcast to market that. But I use the channel to market that.
Right.
That's what YCC Entertainment is for. Shout out YCC Entertainment. That's what YCC Entertainment is for. It's the marketing part. So if you're part of the YouTube channel or the community, then we do the live shows, we do videography work, we do editing, all that kind of stuff. But I tell people, like, if you're just trying to get the podcast and make money, you're in the wrong field. Exactly. You might as well go get involved in one of these manufacturing factories that are going to be here in 2029, I think, after all the tariffs start kicking in.
That's not right.
And we'll get into that a little later. But and then the Adam 22 thing coming out about how they're going financially fucking broke. Just like read through that fire in my head. It's like, yeah, this shit is kind of fucking hard.
Yeah.
It is not fucking easy to pocket. And people would be sitting there like, oh, well, all you got to do is sit there and talk for 2 hours. What's so hard about that? And it's like, no, nigga, that's not how this works.
Yeah. Fuck around and find out.
Well,
Fuck around and find out. And that's why you niggas don't get past episode 3.
And I think that's kind of like, but a lot of that I think is a testament to you, right? Like you thanked us for being here from the beginning, but it was easy kind of staying behind you, kind of seeing what you were building, you know, your platform on, right? Like, because I watched the video that Adam released, and like I didn't realize a lot of the reason why No Jumper really started to blow up. These motherfuckers were literally interviewing OF girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fully naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you're wondering why your growth stopped. Like, bro, it's no surprise, right? Like, how long can you entertain somebody with watching a naked girl talk about her life?
I mean, Fresh and Fit has, never mind, though they haven't. Fuck Fresh and Fit, by the way.
Jesus. Why we on Fuck Fresh and Fit then?
I've been on Fuck Fresh and Fit energy. I don't like mentors that teach wrong.
Okay.
That's my problem with that. I don't like niggas that try to teach this. You create this narrative when you're like, we're trying to cultivate and scope this new generation of strong alpha men and stuff like that. But then you realize that, like, dude, you're really not. And then you're very biased about who you're trying to teach by you bringing on these OnlyFans models just to help teach your audience how to shade these kind of women. So that these red pill niggas that are, these red pill audience members that get no ass are out here shaming women. But it's like, nigga, are you in a position to talk about her? You can't even get her. Now, there are some corrections required to be thrown at you women. I'm going to be honest here, okay? Just because an NBA player fucks you don't mean you can husband an NBA player. Y'all need to get that shit corrected. But niggas like Fresh and Fit, I hate mentors that teach wrong.
I thought you were going to comment more on the fact that this nigga got kind of caught up in the same scheme he be telling us to watch out for.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hate mentors that teach wrong.
It's like, bro.
Don't fall for the trap you're telling us to avoid.
Shout out Umar Johnson for that shit.
That bitch was on a mission, though. Shout out to her, for real.
Shout out to her.
She exposed them. She's like, oh, you telling these niggas not to just get caught up in this? Gotcha. You ever had some pussy before? I ain't never had none of that. I'm pregnant. Nigga, what?
I've been on since protest and riot days. I've been on Fuck Fresh and Fit energy. I do not. I don't like false mentors, false prophets.
Yeah.
I do not like false
Shout
prophets.
out Cole.
Yeah. So yeah, if you get into that place where if it's the one thing for you, like obviously Our Sins of Woes ain't a fucking teach you kind of podcast, and I don't perform that. I don't try to. I give niggas advices on how to do better, but most of the time I'm being fucking funny about it because there's a comedy podcast. It's not a man alpha male building podcast or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm not here to teach you niggas. I hope you learn nothing from me. I just hope you learn things of me or about me. That's about it. Learn things about me and about my guests, but that's about it. Don't learn anything from me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because shit, I learned a lot about you the last episode I shot with you. The fucking
Streets of Consciousness?
yeah. How you said that you want your fucking about your ashes and shit?
Oh yeah, throw my ashes out of fucking jet engine.
All right.
Yeah, I'm stamped on that.
Spreading yourself across the earth.
No, across the flat line, and then I want everybody to do a fog walk after, which is where they go and find trash on the ground and they have to pick it up across the runway.
Your ashes?
Yeah, I want them to pick up my ashes, and then whatever ashes they collect, I want them to give it to my mother so she has something to remember by.
Okay.
But I want people to work in my death.
We might need to edit this plan a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean it's yeah.
Maybe we put the ashes aside first for your mom.
No.
Nah, he was adamant about. He was very much adamant about that.
First.
Because I mean, you know, on a strong breezy day, bro, you're kind of cooked. We don't
Try
have
harder.
anything to bring to your mom.
Try harder. Try harder.
And then he was like, he wants. All
I'm
of his-
here to help build these military niggas to be better. And as military niggas, you niggas have gotten soft. You'll need to be reminded what you're doing here. I have this conversation with like coworkers all the time. It's like, oh, you niggas make me scared to want to shoot guns next to y'all.
Have y'all tried to pick up ash before?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know how y'all's experience went, but normally it turns into little like white powder on
Yep.
my fingers.
Yep.
I'm just not sure how.
I
we
want all
collect
you
that.
niggas to basically drag your hands across the fucking runway and pick up as much, and then I want you to do this above a fucking a vase, so that my mother has my ashes collected.
We just
No,
gonna
we're
wash
not.
off the rest.
Tell me about the exes part, because that shit sent me.
Oh, yeah, and then like before you go burn me, have my exes walk me to the cremation machine. What do they call that? I don't remember. The furnace.
They just been sparking you up the whole way.
Yeah, I mean,
burn
no.
this nigga.
I want them to leave their signature on my casket before they deliver me, but I want them to sign next to their nicknames.
They'll have designated nicknames, and they will know who
But
they
I want
are.
them to figure out what their nicknames are.
I'm gonna be there to record it all. It's gonna be the funniest shit ever.
Agent of chaos, bro.
I'm not sure if I can say this, but isn't one of the nicknames like based off of a very popular Netflix TV series that came out a few
13
years?
Reasons Why? No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Hannah Baker. That's what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
No. I didn't name her that because my coworkers came up with a funny name, so we just left it at that. That's her nickname.
Got you.
But like, if I say the Hannah Baker, then y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's one of those in-house nicknames. But the outside world nickname is it's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, bro, they're gonna be asking me why am I laughing. I'm like, oh, it's just something that he talked about all these years ago. It's funny to see it happen.
Yeah. And that's why I love podcasting. And that's why we've come so far, because I'm able to air out my grievances without hearing shit from you fucking females about it. You shouldn't have mentioned blah, 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 blah. Nope. It's my platform. It's my space. It's been my platform. I've worked really hard in cultivating what it is. I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I feel like saying on here. Well, I'm probably gonna cut you free niggas off after an hour. The more I think about this, I think I might cut you free niggas off.
He's just ramping it up. I can already tell too. Like,
because I ended up thinking about it, and I was about to say something that I was like, I don't want for public consumption.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to my exes. Y'all have helped build the villain. I was talking to somebody about that, and I said something about an ex, and she was like, "Oh, the ex, the villain maker." I was like, "Yeah, that one, the one that started the villain arc."
Oh god.
And it's funny because a lot of my exes have contributed to the villain arc. Actually,
Yikes.
all of them have. They've all become some topic of conversation in a podcast at some point in time.
That's crazy. Because you're right. You're 100% right.
Except, nope, they've all become.
Yeah, because I was like, nah, they've all been,
Yeah, they've all been a product of
but
them.
that's literally one of those the chicken or the egg situation.
Was I
right?
always the villain?
No, which one came first, right? Because I used to say, behind every ain't shit nigga, there's a bitch that turned him into the bad guy, right? But normally that woman was influenced by the ain't shit nigga. So it's like,
Granted,
which
his
one
nickname
came
is
first, the chicken or the egg? The ain't
Nah.
shit nigga or the bitch who makes the ain't
My
shit
problem was
nigga?
always that I couldn't read minds.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah. I think that's every nigga's problem.
Well, now I'm different. After all these years of podcasting, talking to a whole bunch of women, creating better relationships with women, as much as I shame and shade a lot of women like for what they do on social media and women of my past, my relationships with women have gotten a lot better. I'm a little bit more understanding of women because at this point, it goes back to what we talked about when you and Carter were here for episode 90. End of an era, check it out. When my relationship with women are different because at this point, I'm just kind of like talking to women.
Mm-hmm.
I just like want to pick y'all brains, figure out why y'all think the way that y'all think. Because when I start to peel back the layers, I understand why y'all are the way y'all are. Now, I'm not justifying, but I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
So that's been one of the contributing factors. Well, whereas in early of my episodes, I'm like, yo, you fucking women are tripping. You bitches are wild. And then I'm kind of like, that was like one of my confrontations with like Zion that I used to have early on the podcast where Zion was a person I was comfortable speaking with, but then I'd have so many issues with women, I'd expect Zion to speak on behalf of them. And it got to a point where I'm like, all right, Zion don't speak for all women. Zion speaks for herself and herself alone.
Right.
So now the conversation's kind of changed where I can talk to you about you as opposed to women. Because then like in those arguments in the past, it's like, I'm expecting you to speak on behalf of women and you're like, yo, I can't speak for them.
Right.
But me on the other half, I can speak for niggas. All types of niggas.
Don't matter. Because we all built the same at our core function.
That
Let me
part.
guess, nigga. You one of three things. You hungry? You either want some pussy, right? We just leave the fuck alone. Just let you do what you need to do.
Shout out to chocolate starfish. Because they're all looking at it.
That's
What did I say? The back end brown down barn door? That was crazy, by the way.
Telling you, bro, the
Crazy
elusive tunnel of
alliteration.
wonders is still with me right now. I'm just thinking like, geez, what a way to describe it. It is awfully elusive.
But not at the same time.
not at
It's
the same time. It's
just always
always right there.
wondrous.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing where we go. If you would have asked me when we recorded episode 1, would we be at 100? I probably would have been. Nah, nowhere close. But like looking at it now, I'm like 200 would be easy.
yeah.
Especially with the growth we've been making, the timing with everything, the comfortability I've been feeling with everything. Less like I remember when those first episodes came, I was like stuck to a script.
Mm-hmm.
And now at this point, I just write notes to remind myself what to talk about when I have open space.
Yeah.
But being out of Montclair Library, I can't wait to reshoot that fucking trailer for the YouTube channel because I got to start at the Montclair Library
Oh, that's gonna
and
be
like do the
nice.
revamp. Like I'm looking forward to it. But we've come a long way. And again, I thank y'all. I know you said like y'all been watching how I've become and y'all only contributed to what I've done. But I appreciate y'all for not just being a part of it, but being supporters of it. Like you're not a podcaster, you're not a content creator in the slightest. You barely fucking post pictures. But if I hit you up and ask you to come on the fucking podcast, you're always fucking down. So I appreciate that. You being a content creator, E-Rock, I appreciate everything you do. And, you know, I'm always watching what's next for you.
Yeah.
Always trying to be your biggest fan in every way, shape, or form. So thank y'all. Can we talk about my toxic relationship with Kanye West?
Yeah, but before we even get into that, like I even remember like the conversation of even starting this fucking podcast between the three of us anyways. Like that initial conversation at our frequent spot that we used to frequent all the time.
Yeah.
Like just you even reintroducing me to Nelson. I was like, I've known Nelson since as long as I've known you.
Right.
So I was just like, yeah, I'm fucking down to do this shit. And just to see like how everything's fucking come along throughout.
You know,
everything.
you know what? It's funny because I feel like I guess on camera, it seems like I take a lot of things for granted.
Mhm.
But I think in person, I've really been good about not taking things for granted. Like
Facts.
I've just been super fortunate about the opportunities that I've been afforded. Like as much as I have elevated through this podcast journey and through this company journey and everything like that, I've just put myself in the right places. But that's because like I've dealt with people that trust in me. Like even having like Clearbrook at my fingertips is an amazing opportunity that I was afforded. But that's because like the type of person I am.
Yeah.
And then I came in and I basically proved to them like, hey, I can make things happen here. And they trusted me. And then I made things happen here.
Or
So then I was afforded a little bit more.
maybe you I think you might have pulled the wool over their eye a little bit. Because you remember that librarian that came out to us? It was like, oh, what's your podcast called? I want to see an episode. And we were like, this lady about to hear nigga more times in this one episode that she's heard in her whole life. Like,
But the
we were
funny
sweating
thing,
bullets, bro.
the funny thing is, they still want us to come back there.
Yes, that is true. That is true. That is
Because they like what we were doing.
Yes.
So it wasn't a matter of the content of the podcast. It was the
Yeah.
fact that, oh, somebody's shooting a podcast here.
and using the space.
Yes.
'Cause the
And
space
utilizing the
was
space.
unused, yeah.
And
I'm
it's
definitely about to use
taxpayer
that
dollars,
shit.
it's state money. So they're just like, we have the space. Somebody please fucking use it. Because
Yeah.
most of the time people use it for conference calls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where I'm recording, I'm shooting the scenery. Hey, I'm still to this day, 100 episodes later,
Right.
still shouting out the Montclair Library. And we haven't recorded there since episode 20.
Yep.
So like they're gonna get their benefits from it from some way, shape, or form. But again, that was the opportunity that was afforded because when I told them, hey, I want to do a podcast here, they were like, "Are you sure you want to use this space? You can use that space." I'm like, "No, that space costs."
Yeah.
Because remember they had the big conference room when you first walk in there?
Yeah.
That space cost.
Mhm.
I was like, no, I want the free space.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't sure how long we were gonna stick to it. And then
Right.
after the Montclair Library, like when COVID basically was kicking in,
Yeah.
we started shooting out of my living room apartment.
Yep.
And then I got the second apartment where we started shooting out of the fucking the second
bedroom.
room. Yeah.
Second room, yeah.
The bedroom is crazy, Eric.
Setting up that room was crazy. That's
Yeah.
what was crazy.
That shit was crazy. And we
if
made
y-
it work for a long time too.
Yeah, if y'all could have seen like the behind the scenes of like, let me just talk about how of a mastermind this nigga Nelson actually is, because like for it to look like this, what you're seeing right now in a second room in an apartment is like,
Yeah. And it didn't
fucking-
look that far. Like, obviously, we couldn't fit the couch in there or anything
Right.
like that. But to, like, work with what we had in that room,
yeah,
the vision was crazy.
and
bro.
it still
Vision
looks the
was
same.
crazy.
So like all the fucking foam and all that shit
Yeah.
we had back then.
the
Yep.
scheme is the same. Like, the
Yeah.
presentation is the same. It's just more space. Like, even here,
Yeah,
I have so much more space to progressively play with.
exactly.
I just haven't had a reason to expand that space because I'm never going to have more than, like, I don't. It'll be a while before, and I want to come back to that too about the where we are in life,
Yeah.
as opposed to where we started with the podcast or during the time of the podcast. But I still have space to like expound the podcast space if I need to. I just don't have a need to right now because I'll never have more than 3 guests.
Yeah.
I think like the streams of consciousness, it's probably the most people I've had, and that was just 2 guests, Jay
Yeah.
Pat and Jay Carter, is the most I've had, and since we moved into this space. So there's like no reason to have more than what I already have set up. There's no reason to increase the space, but there's always opportunity to.
Mhm.
There's a whole nother 3, 4, 5 feet that you guys are missing out behind Jay Pat. There's a whole nother fucking 3, 4 feet behind me that you guys are missing out. You don't even know.
Yeah,
But so there is the space. And then I got a whole stage out front.
right. I was like,
So Limelight Vibes is shot a 7-second walk from here.
7 second.
So, but what did I say I was gonna come back to?
where we are in life with the podcast.
And that's one of the things that bothers me about like trying to do roundtables. You know, you guys know every like 10 or 20 episodes I want to do after episode 10.
Yeah.
And then I did episode 20. I did episode 10 with you, Q, Afia, Xavier Cloud, and Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did episode 20 with Black Renaissance Black Renaissance.
Yeah.
Is it Black Renaissance? BRE. Black Renaissance Entertainment.
Mhm.
And then after that, it was just harder to do roundtable specials. And then somebody brought up to me, it was like, why don't you do a roundtable special for episode 100? I'm like, bro, we aren't in the same space.
Right.
Finding niggas like, this is back before Q had kids. This is back before you were engaged.
Yep.
This was back
Yeah.
before like you had kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
This
true.
was like a long time ago. I think Xavier Cloud was still single.
Yeah.
Afia
Wow.
wasn't married. This was a very fucking long time ago that we started. So like getting people to come to a group session like this is
Yeah.
very fucking hard. This was 5 years ago. Niggas are in different.
Pre-COVID,
I was in a
bro.
different job.
Pre-COVID.
I worked at the fucking then not to mention pre-COVID.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I was working at Dulles at the time.
Yeah, you were. Shit.
I work a different job now.
Right.
So yeah, niggas are in different spaces. It's hard to put something together with people of the past, but I do want to get into a better habit of like bringing back people of the past. Because one of the things that I deal with the most is people saying, let me come on your podcast because I saw my friend on your podcast. And I obviously I'm always gonna ask them the same question I always ask them, what do you want to talk about? And then they be like, oh, I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm like, well, that's not gonna work. But then I'd be like, I had one conversation with somebody, shout out that a nigga as a performer, but like he was like, I want to come on your podcast. I saw him on your podcast. I'm trying to get on there too. And I'm like, what do you want to talk about? And shout out Corey Darkheart. Corey Darkheart calls out, you don't even like talking to people. He was like, yeah, you're right. I don't like talking to people, but I'm trying to get better at it. And I'm like, nigga,
This is
A
not
podcast
the space
this
for
not
it.
ain't the
platform you
podcast for
use
that.
to-
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Sharpen
100
your social
episodes
skills,
in.
yeah.
You don't use me for practice.
Yeah, nah.
We are well past that part. You would have had to catch me in the first 25, 30 episodes for you to use me as a practice point on how to talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm 100 episodes in now. It's right there. You can see it. So, like, don't use me as a practice point on, like, speaking. If you can't come in with a strong level of conversational skills, I don't want you.
Yeah.
That's why I try to, like I said, I'm trying to get back in the habit of, like, bringing in old guests more because I know you can do this. There's only but 2 people I've ever had on this podcast where I'm like, nah, I'm kind of good off, like, your first attempt. And then there's only like maybe 5 people that just can't come on. Shout out Penrose Eames. Hope he's doing well. Can't come back under YCC.
Yeah.
Don't need him on our Sins of Woes. bringing back protest and riot under a different name. So there's some people that just can't come back because of our history or like where that led you and where you are now. But some people just can't come on because, I mean, most people that have come on can come back on.
It's just can they actually come back? It's really
Yeah, literally. It's just it's a matter of timing, like timing and scheduling. So, but I look forward to where we're going with this year. This look, I love the grayscale look because it keeps it is still our sins and woes. It's a podcast where we talk about our problems with society, our problems with people, our problems with our own personal mistakes, our own personal issues and stuff like that. But it is a comedy podcast at the end of the day. We are gonna make a joke out of what you got going on.
Facts.
But I'm looking forward to sticking to this. I'm looking forward to what 2025 got in store for us as a show. So that's the end of my conversation with Journey. Are we gonna talk about my toxic relationship with Kanye, or do you want to get into race relations?
No. Let's start with this toxic relationship with Kanye because
all
I
right.
might have to address this issue too. I don't know.
I think
I'm curious where it's going.
I think every black person has a toxic relationship with Kanye.
I don't have.
At some
okay,
point.
let me expound upon my toxic relationship with Kanye. I am the battered wife that keeps going back home to my husband.
Wow. Okay.
That's me with Kanye. Everybody keeps talking about he wore a Black Klansman suit, and I'm like, yeah, but did you hear Bully?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's kind of my thing. I'm always like, yeah, but like, I don't care. And I'm the strongest advocate for I don't care about the personal life. I care about the music. And I know you niggas feel the same because y'all still talk about the Cosby Show being one of the greatest family shows on planet Earth.
Yep.
Regardless of whether this nigga's in jail for drugging everybody at the party.
Oh no, they let him out, didn't they? I think they said they let him out because he was like mistried or like the way they went about the trial or something like that. Yeah, it was pretty low key, but
Yeah.
let him go.
Yeah, I did hear like slight shit about that.
Because honestly, and you know why they really let him out? Because they thought about it. It was like, did he really do anything that bad? Let me stop.
Hit the cancel button. Hit the cancel button. Hit the cancel button.
Let me stop. Let me stop.
I forgot that button existed. Shout out, Elon. I forgot that button existed, but God, we
my
needed it.
God.
Were you there when we went to that first Friday and it was the girl that was wearing like the sweatshirt and it said either we fucking or I'm fucking and it had Bill Cosby was doing this.
Hey, yo, honestly,
Nigga, that's rape.
is it really rape from a woman? I don't know. Society would be like, nah, you just a bitch.
Hey, shout out to Rose. He said it best. Put Molly all in her champagne.
She didn't even know it.
I took her home and I enjoyed it.
No, shout out Childish Gambino, who said it the best. Put Molly all in her champagne. She knew it. Childish Gambino said that way better, okay?
Man lost a multi-million-dollar Reebok deal for that line, bro. I didn't realize how diabolical it was, but he really shouted out Reebok right after that. I die over these Reebok.
And bro, that's not the only time he said a line like that. This nigga said and pop that. Let's get these hoes on the Molly.
Hey, he was letting us know what he was up to. The
Yeah,
whole
no
time.
bullshit. That nigga Rick Ross has
Keeping
been
it
Cosby and these
above.
bitches.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ain't gonna come out and be like, I never knew. He been
Yeah,
telling us
he
for
did.
years.
I saw you twerk to that.
Yeah, we've been singing it actually in
Yeah.
unison with him.
But I feel like the battered wife. Cause he just be doing too much. And I be on 10 toes down. Where I'm like, so the fuck what? Bully is good. That Spanish joint, what is it? All breath or no breathe or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is a bop. That nigga did, you've heard Meet Your Padre by Drake off of Some Sexy Songs for You?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Kanye did the Spanish song actually right. That AI shit, whatever that nigga's, actually, the AI be kicking because the shit I sent you for Blur Watch, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, that shit
So
is
I
crazy.
realized that AI is actually underrated as fuck. But Kanye's fucking Spanish song, that shit is the Spanish song. So
It's funny because, like, I mean, Kanye does have a pattern, right? Like, and it's I feel like over the last few years, it's actually been people have been starting to catch on Every time Kanye does something super controversial,
Take My Breath Away. That's what it was.
He drops an album right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he uses the controversy
Mhm.
to boost his like as a marketing strategy. Which
Yes, we've been known Kanye to do that though.
yeah, but I feel like because somebody was talking about like his numbers have kind of been declining, and I really just think it's because now like when people hear Kanye say some controversial shit, it's just like, all right, bro. So when you dropping your album, is it coming out next
shut
month?
the fuck up and just drop a project, please.
Honestly.
But I mean, what recently? You know, parading his wife around basically half naked.
Mm-hmm.
Just having
Wait,
her
which
in-
one?
Oh, I mean,
the
let's
new
be
one?
real. They're all Kim. Okay,
Correct.
they're all Kim.
Correct.
Yeah, but drops an album. Now Kanye's probably gonna be quiet for a little while, but the next time he opens his mouth, whether it be on Twitter or anything,
A project's coming
like clockwork, bro.
every time.
But I still think the best time he did it and the best promotional work that he did for a project
That's a problem.
was
Oh, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
yes.
Yeah, it's definitely My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It was his best. Because Good Fridays.
No, it wasn't even that. That wasn't the controversial promotion that he had for that album. It was "I'ma let you finish," but
That was Yeezy. Wait.
no,
Okay.
it's my Twisted Dark Fantasy. You know
What came out first? My
No,
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy or Yeezus?
No, because that's when
remember-
he had hair.
No, 'cause
Yeah,
you
he
remember
had that was 808's hairstyle that he had.
No, because you remember what song he debuted that same night right after he did that?
It was fucking
Let's
Runaway.
say a toast to that.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was. It was
shit, that's
Runaway.
Say a
right.
toast to the douchebag.
No,
Right
that was the
after.
next year.
No, that was the same year.
No, it was the next year because yes,
Yeah.
because Taylor Swift performed, and then he did Runaways.
Because that's when Kanye showed
Because
up.
Taylor Swift performed a song about people disrespecting her, basically.
Yeah,
And then the very next fucking performer was Kanye doing the Runaways.
Yeah, and
I thought
Kanye-
she did her performance.
No,
after
she
Beyonce
won She won an award.
Gave her like her
She
time.
won an award for best.
No,
music
Beyonce
video.
won an award that night, and Beyonce was the one that said
Taylor Swift.
that, like, basically recognized Taylor Swift and gave her her moment. But it was the next year Taylor Swift did a performance, and then Kanye did Runaways.
What?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was the next MTV Awards.
that tracks. I feel like that did happen in 2009,
Yeah, he wasn't with Amber at the time. When
and my Twisted Dark Fantasy came out in 2010.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was the
for
next
sure.
year
So
that
you
he
might
did
be
that.
right. You might be right on that one.
Because the whole point, like they did do Kanye. I mean, they did Taylor Swift and Kanye both perform that night, but it was
Okay.
all in relation to the event that happened the year before,
Gotcha.
the Kanye shrug.
yeah,
Shout out to the Kanye shrug. That's my favorite emoji on fucking
it's right there on the thing,
what?
on the poster.
True. I mean, just technically. For those of you that didn't know, the Absence of Woes is literally based off of the Kanye shrug.
Shrug, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I definitely did steal that, silhouette it, build that up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That is there. If you niggas didn't know that the Absence of Woes logo is based off of Kanye.
The welcome hose. So Kanye is literally in everything that we do here.
Hey.
Hey,
that-
toxic relationship with Kanye on display since episode 1. Y'all just didn't know. As we said, though, this is all about growth. We talking about it now. We bringing it to the table. We addressing it.
Yeah.
The Kanye shrug is literally my favorite emoji, and you know that because it's the Absence of Woes logo.
But all that being said, continue doing what you're doing, bro. Your relationship is perfectly healthy and fine.
I'm gonna stay with that nigga, okay?
Nah.
I can't wait for V2, V3, and V4 to come out.
I think for us, because everybody in this room is an artist, I think
Yeah.
it's a lot easier for us to separate the art from the man. You know?
Yes.
So, like,
And I think that's what people don't understand. Is like they say that. They say, I'm gonna separate the art, or I'm trying to separate the artist from the art and stuff like that. But in reality, if you're not an artist, you can't. At
Yep.
some point, you're gonna conform back to the majority view.
100%.
Yeah.
I've been a content creator for too fucking long. Y'all know that. We've done music together. We've been working long enough. Even when I was in Washington State, I used to do the fucking little skits of D'Angelo Ain't Got No Teeth. Shout out to those. Those were funny. But like I've been a content creator in some way, shape, or form for a long time.
Right.
So yes, I'm able to do that because I don't want you to think that how I am during podcasting is how I am in person. Now, for my podcast, I kind of am. But
Yeah.
it's business me that's way different from how I am in person. But yeah, so I know how to separate it because I don't want people to look at me and say, oh, because of this, that, and the third, I can't talk to this person because they only talk about this. And it's like, no, I can talk about anything outside of this.
Still a person, right? And I think we have a lot of evidence of people not being able to do that.
Mhm.
Like, you know, the actor that played Joffrey from Game of Thrones, that man was getting death threats for years just for the character he played in the TV show. And it's like, bro,
Sheesh.
this man is not King Joffrey anywhere but on Game of Thrones, bro. Like, he doesn't need real life death threats. But you
Jeffrey D. Morgan getting death threats for killing Glenn.
literally, bro, like, but people be doing shit like that, and it's just like, yo, what the fuck?
Y'all know I'm just an actor,
It's
right?
just a person, right?
So-
My name is not this.
The only caveat I can say you can't really separate the person from the artistry is R. Kelly.
No,
Oh,
no,
you
I
know
can't.
what?
Nah, because
I
I mean,
can.
some of them songs he was speaking about his real
And
life.
some of them songs were just good music.
Nigga, age ain't nothing but a number. He
Some
meant that
of them
shit.
songs were just
They
good
were
music.
inspired by real things that he did, but that's
I
every
mean,
single artist.
Yeah, I trust me. I understand that 100%.
Now, if you were gonna say somebody like Muse from Daredevil, then I would have been like, yeah. Probably need to separate a little bit. They don't need like them hits bad, right? What are we talking about? But I mean, like, outside of that, you know, like
That
anybody
nigga
else,
was a problem, though.
Oh,
Muse
shit.
was a problem.
bro.
He had to get the fuck out of here.
That was disgusting work. I did not realize my man's was like that.
Yeah, but I hated Jeffrey Dean Morgan a lot more after I saw fucking Invincible. That nigga's conquest was a problem, bro. I was like, oh, this nigga has a habit of just killing people.
Nah, I wanted his autograph after that conquest display, bro. It was the blood heart for me. That's how I knew it was real. I was like, oh, this nigga does not give a fuck about anything. He said, no, bro. Get out of there, Mark. Get out. You cannot win this fight, bro. That nigga loves this shit for real.
Yeah, no
bro.
bullshit.
Shit.
But yeah, you niggas need to get better about separating the art from the artist. If you really say that, mean it. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
I'm a Kanye stan. Kanye West has always been one of my favorite artists of all time. He's up there. When you task me on top three, it's always Kanye West, Childish Gambino. It's a mix between Kid Cudi and Lupe Fiasco. Sometimes I switch those two around. Best artist, he's not in my top 5 for best artist. Kanye might be in my top 5 for best artist.
He's pretty high up there for me.
For
Just for his
best artist in
production
the
work.
game, yeah, he's definitely up there.
Just for his production work alone, like I already have to put him up there in top.
For
five.
best artist. But then my thing is, I don't realize it until I get into an argument with people about who's the best artist. That's when I throw Kanye in there because Kanye had an amazing fucking remix run.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
his
yeah.
remix run was fucking wild. And a lot of niggas don't know that because they weren't listening to Kanye West in 2011, from 2011 to 2015. But I'm like, this thing gave us the Lollipop remix. And
I
that
was
nigga,
just-
I
I
don't
was
care what
just about
anybody
to
said.
say that.
Kanye beat Wayne out on that fucking Lollipop remix.
Yes.
Like, he
Yes.
beat Wayne
But
out.
also prompted Lil Wayne to give us one of the best bars heard to date.
Which is?
Great sex is safe sex. Better use a latex.
Oh,
'cause you
yeah.
don't want
You want
that
that
latex.
latex?
That I think I'm latex. Like, nigga, what?
But Kanye's also one who said on the Put On remix, I feel like there's still niggas that owe me checks.
Yes.
I feel like there's still bitches
Bitch,
that owe me sex.
I mean,
Come on, bro.
but that
Like-
nigga told Wade on Lollipop remix, he said, "You're not finna murder me like everybody else. I'm gonna come out here and rap like I got some type of respect for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Honestly-
do it to the death. I'm gonna do it for the belt."
To the roof get melt.
Right.
That nigga Kanye was moving
Chicken
different.
soup.
He
won't
was
help.
right.
Like, nigga, what?
But anytime
Bro.
we talk about Kanye, you already know what line I gotta mention, bro.
Uh,
My fucking ego.
I could be there in the Speedos and still be looked at like a fucking hero.
After that nigga said that, I said, I know exactly what kind of time you want for the rest of your life, nigga. Because that was some wild shit to
Which
say,
is funny
bro.
because we talked about that and we was like, when Kanye came out, Kanye was for the niggas, but somebody arguing with me that Kanye was for white people. And I was like, nah.
Nah.
Jesus Waltz was for the niggas.
Yeah.
Gold Digger was for the white guys.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Jesus Waltz was for the niggas.
Yeah.
If anything, I would say Gold Diggers was for the white girls. Because when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl.
And he
Get
exactly
down, man.
did
Go
that.
ahead.
But it was like a memorandum to the white guys. Like, hey, y'all the ones that's really dealing
But
with them gold diggers.
College Dropout was 100% for the culture fucking.
I say that more about late registration.
Really?
Yeah.
think
Late
for life
registration
of-
had, first of all, had roses.
Yeah.
You telling me with if my grandma was in the NBA right now, she'd be okay? But since she was just a secretary working for the
church for 45
years, they ain't supposed to stop right here. My grandfather looked at me like
Trying to get
he's
it together,
strong.
but he's strong. That's where I get my confidence from.
Yeah, that was like a culture, but that also had not Drive Slow. It had
Dry Slow
that's-
was on
That's
there.
a
crack
great-
music.
Crack music.
Crack music was late registration, and that
was
was a
late
nigga
registration.
anthem.
Yeah.
That
Crack music was definitely a nigga anthem.
That real black music. Nah, nah, nah,
How you stop the
nah,
Black
nah,
Panthers?
nah, nah.
Ronald Reagan cooked up an answer.
But college dropout had things like All Falls Down.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Graduation was his To the White
Commercial.
People as Well album.
Yeah.
See, it's funny that you said. So I looked at Graduation as like, when I listen to Graduation, I hear Kanye, like, that's when you could tell that Kanye finally like realized he was in that, like, he was that guy.
Yeah.
He could do commercial music.
Yeah, because when
Yeah.
Graduation came out, like, Kanye couldn't do no wrong.
Yeah.
Because what that college or Graduation had a stupid number of singles based off of like
Good Life. It had
Shit.
I Wonder.
I Wonder.
It had Flashing Lights.
Flashing Lights. What else was on there? PYT. No, that was
No.
Good Life.
That was Good Life.
Good Life was
The
PYT.
sample.
Was
Yeah.
all of the lights? No, that
Crazy
was
Drunk
all-
Girls or Crazy
Yeah. Drunk White Girls.
Drunk White Girls.
Yeah.
Or Drunken White Girls or something
Yes,
like that.
yeah. What else was on there?
I'm about to
I feel
look
like
it
there's a
up.
couple others that I'm missing though.
Yo, Graduation had did
Big
have a lot of
Brother?
singles. Yeah, it
Yeah.
did. No, that was late registration, wasn't it?
No, Big Brother.
No,
was
Big Brother was
Graduation.
Graduation. Yeah, you're right.
Trying to think. Graduation had a bunch of singles on it, but his
Champion.
champion
Stronger. That's what it was.
Stronger. Yes,
Stronger
that's what I
was
was
the-
thinking. That's the other mainstream one.
Yeah.
Which also he gave
Drunken
us,
Hot Girls. That's what it was.
Drunken Hot Girls.
Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Nigga.
Glory.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Like they had
That
he
was
had
his mainstream
so
album.
many singles on Graduation that were just like
Yeah.
lit. And you can like in every single song, he kind of had like one of those lines where it was like, "All right, nigga, chill, like you got it." Okay? Like even with Stronger, what was it? I know God put you in front of me. So how the hell you gonna front on me? There's 1,000 yous, there's only one of me. Like that whole album, I was like, yo, this nigga feeling himself, right? Late Registration, I felt like that was kind of like the in-between phase. Like he was starting to deal with some like famous shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was still kind of like
Mhm.
he knew where he came from.
That's
But-
why I think that's why Late Registration is still one of my favorite albums.
Yeah,
Out of every Kanye project,
bro,
Late Registration is still one of my favorite albums.
we ain't got it.
I think another album of Kanye's that was for the culture, and I know a lot of people won't agree with this, is Life of Pablo. Cause
So
that was-
I'm split heads on that. Because I feel like a lot of people, it's Late Registration. I mean, Life of Pablo is like damn to me.
yeah,
It's like I fucked with Kendrick Lamar when ADHD. That was
Right.
my put on Kendrick Lamar song. But then when Good Kid, Mad City came on, I was like, yo, this is a fire fucking project.
Yep.
yeah,
But then a lot of people that listen to Kendrick Lamar really wasn't fucking with Kendrick Lamar until like damn.
yeah,
Or to Pimp a Butterfly because of the
The woke movement that we were in.
Yeah.
It was the pro-blackness of To Pimp a Butterfly. But like that's what I feel like people that didn't fuck with Kendrick until damn, that's kind of what I get from people that didn't fuck with Kanye until Life of Pablo.
yep.
Because like if you say Life of Pablo is his last best album, I have questions.
yeah, because it wasn't.
It even if you say it was his last great album
It
or
wasn't.
his best album, to sit there and say every album that he did after that was trash is crazy to me.
Nigga,
Because Ye was great.
Ghost Town was a fucking phenomenal fucking
So
song.
like I said, Ye was great. I'm a Yeezus. I'm not a Yeezus. I'm a Donda fan.
Same.
I think Donda is like the last project that we're gonna get of that caliber. Like so many different artists on one project.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get another album, especially with the Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I've been saying this for a minute. Especially with the Drake and Kendrick thing that went on. You're not gonna get a project like that. Well,
No.
so many artists come on to a nigga's project like that.
Yeah.
Because too many niggas gonna be like, yo, I don't fuck with that nigga, and you got him on your project, so I ain't gonna be on your project and stuff like that. Mind you, it's Kanye. So he does rewrites.
Right.
Yeah.
The Soulja Boy verse.
Yeah.
Or like the Donda Deluxe, where it's got Baby on Jail Part 2.
Uh-huh.
Like, you putting Baby and Jay-Z on a fucking project together, that would have been fire.
Yeah.
especially when both of them niggas was spitting.
He also does a good job of keeping his music relevant with what he gave Carnival to Bad Baby so she could diss whatchamacallit. Like, I don't know. But I've always fucked with that song. That song is crazy to me.
It is.
Like, in fact, this nigga got these motherfuckers chanting in the beginning. It's crazy.
But even like that's
He's always had
what
chances
steps
in
into
his
that realm
music,
of like
though.
people that don't understand like Kanye's production level.
yeah.
You niggas love Kanye production, you just don't know it.
Right.
Niggas talk to me all day about how Rihanna is like, we love Rihanna and Rihanna's amazing. Sorry, her 3 biggest singles of all time is probably like, what's her name? What's my name? There's another- Umbrella and Pour It Up.
Yeah.
Who produced Pour It Up? Kanye.
Kanye for sure, bro.
Kanye produced Pour It Up.
A sleeper album to me of Kanye's is Jesus though. He had some good songs up there.
I've had
but
this
people don't
conversation
like
before.
that.
I've had this conversation about Yeezus and my problem with Yeezus, and it took me a while to understand what my issue with Yeezus was. Yeezus is overproduced. And the problem with the overproduced is we weren't ready for... The thing about Yeezus is it's produced so over excessively where that was when we realized that like your beats could be your chorus.
Yeah.
And nobody was
Facts.
really doing that before Kanye. But Bound to.
Nigga.
That beat was the chorus for Bound to.
Yeah.
Nigga,
That's why I
that
think that's why I
shit.
think he Bully is gonna be a problem, and that's why I think Donda perfected it, where it's like, okay, you're not overproduced to the point where like you can't keep up. Like if you think about Yeezus, Kanye was spitting, but Kanye wasn't spitting
That
on
was-
Yeezus.
That was like the metamorphosis of what would come later after.
Correct, but so many people learned from that. And then even Kanye learned from that on how to like do an overproduced track and still be able to rap over an overproduced track.
Yeah, like fucking No Mistakes. Nigga.
So Yeezus was actually it was the one Kanye album that I actually gave him probably the most grief for. Cause I think Yeezus was really like the catapult that like led to a lot of like the rap that came after it.
Yes, I agree.
Like I think because of
It's
Yeezus,
it's a younger generation's album.
yeah, like Lil Pump and like
Mhm.
all of those rappers didn't stand a chance, and then Yeezus dropped, and it was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I can sound like this,
Correct.
and people are gonna still fuck with it. Like,
Yeah, Yeezus paved the way for a lot of younger rappers.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of younger rappers, when I be having these arguments with niggas like Tony Nova and Xavier Cloud, they always go back to Yeezus, but that's because that's the album that paved the space for niggas like them.
Granted, that was when like Wayne kind of like switched up his flow too. So like the way that Wayne was rapping would give like birth to a Young Thug, Lil Pump, and all them other people too.
I don't know about that one. Because didn't Carter 4 come out after? Carter 3 definitely came out before. Carter
Yeah.
4 came out after Yeezus. And
way
Wayne was still
after,
rapping like...
yeah.
Well, I remember
Somewhat.
listening. I remember
Somewhat.
Don't Cry. And I remember Mona Lisa when they came out. That was well after Yeezus.
Nigga,
Yeah,
Mona
that
Lisa
like
was our fucking
5-6
song,
years.
bro.
That was like 5-6
Mona Lisa
years
was our
after,
song.
because Yeezus came out in like what 2011, 2012.
Yeah,
somewhere
Yeezus.
there.
That was like my sophomore
Carter
year
4
of
came
high
out. I think
school.
I was in California when Carter 4
Yeah, it was
came
like
out.
2017 or
Yeah.
2018 or some shit like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I guess my issue with Yeezus was Kanye knew, like, because Kanye was already in the mode of doing that, where like he would do something and he knew it would be popular right then and there. But Kanye's so versatile, he could switch to something else.
Right.
And I think he kind of trapped a lot of artists into that style, thinking it was gonna last. But like even like now, you know what I mean? You think about when Yeezus came out to now.
Nothing
like,
that Kanye does sounds like Yeezus these days.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of put a lot of artists into a box with that. Because like
Yeah.
now rap is more like, it's more drill shit than anything.
Correct.
We've moved so far away from like the Yeezus movement.
Right.
Yeah. The
But it
auto
was so many-
tuning,
Yeah.
emotional music. Yeah.
Yes. And just like the overproduction,
Yeah.
like
Well, no. We're on the overproduction.
yeah, I mean, oh yeah, you're
the
right.
beats
Yeah,
make
yeah,
the song these days.
for sure. For sure.
But
Yeah.
you're not gonna get your who sings that fucking old R&B song. And if I never love again.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I forgot.
the R&B 90s song.
I know who you're talking about. I just forgot the.
Boys
is-
and Men?
Yes.
no,
Is
it's
a
not Boys
friend.
and Men.
Um,
It's
Drew
Friend,
Hill?
but it's
No, it's not Drew Hill.
hold on. I got you. Hold on.
But like that song where they're singing the noise, like
Yeah.
the background music.
Got you. Okay. I get
But
what
like,
you're saying.
yeah, but now we're in that day and era. That was in the 90s. Now in 2020, the beats make the whole song. You don't really care about the lyrics. You're just trying to find what part you're supposed to join in on joining in the music or
Yeah.
joining in on the beat.
Yep. That's true, bro.
Lady is a Friend. That song.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I got you.
And if I
Yeah.
ever fall.
In love.
Yeah.
I thought it was Boys
again.
to Men. Am I tripping?
No,
Yeah.
it's not Boys to Men.
It's not Boys and Men.
Because Boys to Men would not put out something like that.
That's crazy.
They have better musicality than anything, but they learned that from New Edition, which we're not going to get into. But yeah,
Shy. If I ever
Yes.
fall in love. by
that's what
Shy.
it was.
Yeah. So, but like that's different.
Yeah,
Because at that point, the vocals carried the song.
Yeah.
yeah,
But now it's the reverse where
Yeah.
the song is carrying basically the vocals.
Correct. So,
Crazy.
to close out that, my toxic relationship with Kanye is gonna be here for a while. I'm sorry. I know you niggas want me to hate that nigga, and I ain't got it in me to hate that nigga because I just think he's too good at what he does. I listen to Bully, and I listen to Bully a lot. I think it's a dope project. I look forward to seeing how he revamps it and fixes anything that's wrong with it. But that fucking Take My Breath Away is a fire-ass fucking song. It's the Spanish song of 2025, which is crazy because we're not about to get a lot of Spanish songs because all the illegals are deported.
Stop it, stop it.
Jesus.
Warning.
I already knew where it was going.
But I think Kanye's on to some great shit. And I look forward to seeing what he gives us. Good luck to the rest of you niggas. We can talk about one more topic and then I'll say bye to the free niggas.
Bet.
I will say bye to you free niggas. Carter Cout. Yes, I am. You just text me and said, "Are you recording?"
Did he get his car back?
Say what?
I said, did he get his car back?
I'll tell you guys in episode 101 if he got his car back.
Nice.
Yeah. Tune in, niggas. To the next episode of Viruses and Woes, race relations.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Race relations.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, you said something a very long time ago, and I kind of ended up using it maybe 2 weeks ago, where you was like, all white people are either racist or they don't understand racism.
Racists are ignorant to it, bro. Yep.
And I had to use that argument myself because I was talking about DEI. And the thing I always love about the DEI conversation is people think that, like, once I get the job, DEI helps me get the job.
Right.
Once I'm in the job, I can be fired if I suck.
Exactly.
DEI doesn't keep me there if I suck.
100%.
But then people, like, the arguments that did, like, oh, they're hiring all these underqualified people and stuff like that. It's like, no. DEI helps them reach out into communities that they wouldn't normally reach out in.
Mm-hmm.
If you only want to hire the high-class people, then you would just go to, like, some high-class college community and just pull your people from there. But because of DEI, you find yourself finding other qualified people in other locations. But also, here's the thing that people don't understand about DEI. It's an incentive. It's not a requirement. Now, federally, it was a requirement. Where, like, it wasn't called DEI. That's the thing people don't understand. People think DEI has been around for fucking a century. It's like, no. It was called something else. DEI is a new thing that came after, like, the George Floyd thing became mainstream.
Yeah.
But
it was a post-COVID
yes,
term.
exactly.
Yeah.
DEI is not an old term from the 90s. Nobody called it that. It was just like, hey, you can't be racist to federal employees.
Right.
And that was due to
Civil rights.
Lyndon B. Johnson. Yes. That's where it became a thing. 1965 is when it became authorized that, like, federal employment couldn't discriminate against race.
Yeah.
Publicly, you can still, or like, privately, you can still do that. If you have a private company, you can still discriminate against race. But there's a federal incentive that you receive tax cuts if you have a variety of demographic.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that. You don't have to do DEI. You can if you want to receive tax cuts. And I think that's a very smart incentive for the government to do back when they did it. It's like, yeah, you can pay maximum dollar and receive a lot less best if you want to be a fucking racist company. But you can still be a racist company if you want.
Right.
You just got paid.
You just have to pay for being
It's all
racist,
good.
right?
And now that they're doing it, they're like, fuck, we should have kept the DEI shit in.
Now, as a nigga, I agree. But I'm starting to realize that the argument against DEI is always white men can't find a job.
They've always
White
found
men
a
are
job.
being looked over. white men aren't being hired because of DEI programs. And I'm like, it's funny that the racial hiring only becomes a problem if white guys aren't benefiting from it.
Right.
Because it wasn't a problem back in 60s, 61, 62, 63.
Since America was founded, yeah.
But there was also still white men back then still weren't able to find jobs. Before DEI, they still weren't able to find jobs. On the flip side of that, there's other races that are impacted by it too, right? Like,
Yeah.
a company only has 20 slots to fill, and they're like, all right, we'll take 5 or 4 different races.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else from those other races also don't get a job.
Right.
It's
Right.
the same shit, bro. Like, we all done.
Exactly.
Right.
Only so many people can fill that job.
Right.
What are we talking about?
So then you took the most qualified people of those races to fill that job.
Exactly.
So what you're telling me is the most qualified, if you have a problem with DEI, in hindsight, what you're telling me is the most qualified black person doesn't match up to the most qualified white person. If DEI is a problem, that's what you're telling me.
You always gotta work twice as hard to get half of what they got.
So my issue with it was I don't believe we should be doing anything as a country to go backwards, right?
Right.
Like, the reason why the government had to implement DEI, I mean, there was a reason for it, right?
Of
Yeah.
course.
And as much as people want to be like, yo, we've moved forward, we've grown, like,
It's still hard for
we-
black people.
yeah, there was a study they just did in, like, I think it was like 2017, where they said a white man with a felony record could get a job easier than a black man with no felony record.
Yep.
Yeah.
2017. We talking
Yep.
about 7, 8
Pre-COVID.
years ago. 7, 8 years ago at the most. So, like, as much as people want to act like, oh, we moved so far forward,
Mhm.
guarantee you start removing stuff like DEI or like giving companies tax breaks for having a diverse.
Yeah.
You'll start to see there's gonna be a lot more places. It's gonna be diverse hires, and it's gonna be start getting more centralized. I don't know, but we'll see how that plays out. But erasing history is never a good idea.
Look, I said this is nothing but full throttle for them to create an all-white federal Bureau of Investigation.
They're already
100.
doing that.
100%.
I mean, obviously, but they'll never say that. Callback. But
It'll be very apparent.
it to the people that know.
It's
Yeah.
everything.
That-
It's
that's-
already apparent, bro. Like,
Yeah, like it's one of those. If your eyes are open, that's what I always crack up about this Trump thing. It's like, don't get mad because we saw it.
Right.
Don't be blind now.
it wasn't that hard.
It was very easy to see where we were going with this. Project 2025 was a thing. I watched the tracker. Suck my dick if you think that what
Yeah.
he's doing is coincidental. No, we're at 42% completion on the 2025 project tracker.
Exactly.
My nigga, nothing he's doing is surprising to us. But we knew. To you other motherfuckers that didn't know, that's your fault.
Because they didn't do their Googles.
Which is as simple as
Or
that.
they did do their Googles, and that's also part of the problem.
The algorithm.
No, it's not even that. It's shout out to college, right? You can't, if you Google something, you look at just the very first answer.
Because that's what's an AI.
If you're gonna Google something, you gotta look at multiple results.
At least hit page
See-
3 of Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how many of them line up. Cause like what you're gonna find is like over the first page, you might go to 10 different pages. And when it comes to one topic, they all have 10 different viewpoints on that one topic.
Yep.
You need
Exactly.
that much diversity in the research in order for you to actually start figuring out what stuff lines
But
up.
people don't like that. And that's one of the arguments that I always have with my coworkers about whenever we talk about politics. I'm like, you guys, your problem is, actually, I have this conversation with Q, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But you guys have a very limited view of information.
Mhm.
And you need to understand that. That's my problem. I don't have a problem with misinformation. I don't have a problem with lies. I have a problem with the confidence that you have in misinformation
Yeah.
and in lies.
Mhm.
That's my problem. You're so confidently backing something that you really don't know anything the fuck about. I watch a lot of fucking news. I watch a lot of fucking political media.
Mhm.
I know all of your talking points. I understand why Republicans bitch about Democrats. I understand why Democrats bitch about Republicans.
Yeah.
I'm watching both sides. I watch Fox News and then I watch MSNBC.
Mhm.
I'm watching Trump talk and I'm watching what Democrat senators I'm watching what AOC is saying about Trump.
Yeah.
So like I'm getting both sides in it. Like, and I had a conversation with Q where he was like, I said something and I was like, bro, I'm just tired of the Trump shit. And he was like, Trump? I don't even see them talking about that. And I was like, because you don't watch the news. Because there's no shot you're not hearing about Trump if
Talk
you
about
watch
that
the
man
news.
every single second they can. Bro.
Every day.
Yeah.
If you turn on the news, and he brought out, well, on Facebook, they don't talk about it. I'm like, well, there you go, nigga. That's your algorithm.
Well, and it's obvious, it's pretty easy why they're not talking about it because, I mean, who runs Facebook?
Yeah.
That nigga's not losing no money.
You're right.
But all the places that's losing money is talking about that shit
Correct.
very easily. Like, because I talk to my manager about it all the time. Like, bro, if you have any investments in the stock right now, you're losing money on that shit.
Yeah.
The stock market has literally been going down ever
Until it
since
shot
Jan
up.
1.
Until it shot up.
Yeah, true.
But
It's
that's where it brings into like the market manipulation conversation, the insider trading conversation. Those conversations have been fun. And I got to talk to Money Mac about that. I'm sure I'll be bringing him in before this year out again for that conversation about the stocks because he's well invested in stock.
Yeah, it's about to get wicked. It's definitely about to get wicked. Because like I was looking at my 401k investments and I was just like,
Me too.
bro, I lost
That shot down. I was at a negative 17% on the 401k.
the first like
And I TSP.
When Biden was in office, I think I made like, I think it was like 100K in investments or something like that over the 4 years. By February, it was like maybe middle of February or the end of February, bro. I had lost 30 grand.
Market
In 2
manipulation.
months, bro.
Yep.
In
Market
2
manipulation.
months, I had lost that much money.
And then if you would have pulled that money out and put that money back in that window time span, it's like you would have realized how much your shit would. Because shout out to Jay Carter. Jay Carter's big on stocks too.
Yeah.
So he watches that shit and he's like, oh, I just follow Nancy Pelosi. That's what that nigga said. But like watching that go down and off a tweet, the stock market shot up. And this nigga said, oh, 90-day tariff in a tweet. So then when they're fucking interrogating the fucking the head of trade, foreign trade, and this nigga's like, I didn't know anything that was coming by. And he's like, yo, you're the head of foreign trade. How did you not know?
That dude was sparking him up.
Bruh, on something crazy.
I was
This nigga
sweating
said-
for that man, bro.
But that goes into another one of my topics of the fucking tariffs.
Oh, don't even get, bro. That shit is
All of these cameras that y'all are seeing us on are Blackmagic Design. Blackmagic Design is a fucking Australian company. We have a trade surplus and a free trade agreement with Australia. We make more money off Australia than they make off of us. Why do they have a 10% tariff to the point that Blackmagic Design has updated their prices on their website 10% higher?
Nigga, why do penguins have a tariff?
Okay, so devil's advocate on that one. The argument behind that is that people will just say they're exporting things from that country. So they're alleviating that by putting tariffs on those countries so they can't export it from a tariff-only
It's
country.
to avoid loopholes.
Yeah, it's basically to avoid loopholes.
Because smart motherfuckers would be like, oh, I can just ship it out of this country and
But
no
then
tariff.
the angel to the devil's advocacy is then why bother putting a 125% tariff on China if China could just ship their shit to Australia and then send it to America?
Here's my thing with the tariffs.
That's probably gonna
It's funny
happen.
that you mentioned Australia, right? Because Australia was like the last country to have tariffs. And they got rid of it around the time the color TV came out. And it was just because of like basically numbers, right? Like at the time when the color TV was being made, I think they said like in Australia, for you to get a color TV, it was going to be like $1,000 or $1,200. But Japan at the time was making it for like $300.
Yeah.
And this was, I mean, back when the color TV came out, what was that, like the 60s or the 70s or some shit like that?
Post moon landing,
Late 50s.
if you believe in it.
So that $1,000
So
that they were spending on that TV at the time was like half a year's worth of mortgage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, so the Australian people were like, why would I spend all this money on a color TV? I can put that money elsewhere to other things.
Correct.
But up until that point, Australia was big on producing a lot of stuff. I think they had like an electric company, like all that shut down once they got rid of the tariffs, just because like it didn't make any sense, right? And I bring that up because I was talking to my dad about it, and I was like, I don't know how y'all think these tariffs are gonna work, but like everything's just gonna be more expensive. Like
Yes, correct.
that's
Shout out
literally
to
how it
my
works.
bar down the hill, but I was like, why is I got 2 margaritas? Why is my tab 23 instead of 21? We had to raise the prices because of all of our silverware come from, or not silverware, but our glasses come from China.
China.
And
China.
but bro, like, it literally doesn't, like, because I hear people talking about, like, oh, the tariffs are going to be good for us. They're going to make us a lot of money.
Dumbasses.
And
But the reality of the situation is, you motherfuckers don't want to do what the Chinese want to do. You motherfuckers really don't want to build nuts, bolts, and screws.
no, the real reality of the situation is when you go from paying somebody for a full days of work $7 to $70.
Correct.
That money's got to come from somewhere.
Correct.
And that's
Correct.
what it all
Y'all
comes
don't
down
want to
to.
do the cheap labor because then the companies don't want to pay out. There was a tangent behind that. But the companies don't want to pay out that amount that you guys are required to receive as a minimum wage.
Yeah.
But then
Sloppy Nelson.
that for facts, bro. But then that requires like your demand.
Mhm.
Don't even get me started on the American demand. Y'all hate the minimum wage.
Yep.
Y'all fucking hate the federal minimum. And what is it, like $7.25 or some
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah.
Y'all hate the federal minimum wage. So then y'all go to the state minimum wage, and the state minimum wage isn't enough.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to build nuts and bolts for the fucking, you don't want to build screws for the iPhone for $15 an hour.
Plus, it's cheaper to use children anyways. But
I mean, but we could take a 24-hour boat ride, bro, and go find out where the motherfuckers get paid 7 cents an hour to make this shit, you know?
yeah.
But because I was talking to my dad about this, I was like, those companies don't want to lose their profit margin.
right.
They're not. So all that money is gonna be charged somewhere, bro.
Because they're
Like,
not boosting their minimum wage.
No, fuck
Because of
no.
our tariffs. Like,
They're
that's
not
what's
gonna be
happening.
like, well, we used to make $1,000 per item. Now we're just gonna cut it down to, I guess, $350 because we got to pay people. Fuck no, bro.
And that's another argument I had with my coworker about the tariffs. I said, he was like, well, we need to bring the trade deficit or the federal deficit down. I'm like, bro, I get it. Tariffs go straight to the deficit, but like, you as an American just buying things, do you care about that? You motherfuckers don't support charities. Don't sit here and scream to me that you want to see the deficit go down, the federal deficit go down, because that's where all the tariffs are going. When you don't, at the end of the day, you're looking at it from a individual standpoint of now I have to pay more for eggs. Because if Obama did it, you motherfuckers would be up in arms.
Yep.
Y'all would be up in arms if Obama did whatever Trump's doing.
Yep.
He low-key did,
To the
but-
point that Obama said it. Could you imagine if I went after these news outlets because of them saying things that I didn't like? Could you imagine how everybody would be down my throat, pause, about y'all coming at, or how everybody would be about me going after news outlets?
Yeah. Nigga, they got mad at him for wearing a tan suit. A fucking tan suit.
I feel like my biggest issue with the tariffs is like, you don't have to do research, bro. It's common sense. Like you can look at it and kind of figure out.
It's not common sense. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
Common sense ain't common no more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is common sense, but the lack of common sense in the world is the problem. Like, I don't know how you think that, oh, he's gonna lower taxes. Brother, where do you think that money's coming from? Like, money's
Right.
gotta come from somewhere.
Oh, not to mention that Elon Musk changed his we'll save $1 trillion to we'll save $150 billion.
Mm.
Why is
remember
he
seeing that.
even a part of anything?
Tax cuts. Elon Musk is a name. And Elon Musk is the name.
He's the president. But
Bro,
I can't
everything
do
that's,
that either.
everything that he's doing right now is a business move.
Everything.
We have a businessman running the country. He's running it like it's a business. He's
Correct.
not running it like it's a
Elon Musk
country.
doesn't care about the fall of X. He don't care. Elon Musk don't care about the fall of Tesla. He doesn't really, in reality, if you know business, you know that Elon Musk doesn't care about the fall of Tesla.
Exactly.
Because Elon Musk is a name. He will just put it on something else.
Yep.
Elon Musk will give us a new fucking car under a new fucking brand, and people will buy it because Elon Musk said it's efficient.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Elon Musk doesn't care about the fall of X. He doesn't care about the fall of fucking Tesla. He doesn't care about any of that. SpaceX is his baby. SpaceX has the most fluidity to grow.
Mhm.
He'll concern himself with that, but that doesn't matter because it's contract dealed with the government.
Yeah.
It's not
And-
going anywhere.
Yeah. So like,
It's not going anywhere.
and all he's doing is capitalizing off of contract deals.
Yep.
All of them fucking little NPC fucking 18-year-olds that are involved in fucking, they're just collecting information.
Mm-hmm.
And you niggas, Not you niggas, but you niggas are too dumb to realize that. So, again, I will check in with you in 3.5 years and ask you, did your egg prices go down? I've been saying that for about 7 episodes now. I'm only going to check in with you because all y'all did was bitch about you dumb Republicans, not you smart Republicans. I fuck with you smart Republicans, but you maggots, you dumb fucking maggots. I'm going to check in with you in 3.5 years and ask you, did your egg prices go down?
Shit, bro, you don't have to give them that long. Give them 6 months.
Nope.
They
I'll
be
give 'em to
complaining
4.5
already.
years because they're going to continue to blame everything on Biden for 3 years. Because all of the fucking maggots, they have the same fucking chip installed in the back of their fucking skull. And it's the goddamn, the fucking Tesla SpaceX chip where they all get the same firmware update every fucking 15 to 30 days
Must
where
blame
they
Biden.
all are told what the talking points are. One of my bosses pissed me off with that because I'm like, bro, every time you talk, you bring up Biden. We are 5 months past last election. I promise you, I will never vote for Joe Biden again. You have my God-given word. I won't vote for Biden. I mean, I won't vote for Joe Biden. I won't vote for Obama. I won't vote for Hillary Clinton ever again. You have my word. Can we talk about our current president now?
Yeah, and the things
Stop
that he's
bringing
doing.
up that old shit.
Bro, you know another thing that's pissing me off that they keep bringing up? Why do they keep bringing up George Floyd? Like,
No, why do they keep tearing down George Floyd?
bringing
Is
him up,
really the question.
tearing him down. Either way, his name's still mentioned.
Because
Like,
he's a contributor to black terrorism in America. That's what they'll say.
I don't think black people can be terrorists, but I mean,
Sheesh.
I mean, we can be terrorists.
That, well, wait. E-Rock might be on to something.
Nah, bro, I've been terrorizing people my whole life. Bro. I know we can be terrorists. It's just like
You can be a terrorizer, but can you be a
terrorist.
definitionally concerned
No.
terrorist?
no.
If you built the country,
Yeah. that-
can you be considered? E-Rock might be spitting.
you can't terrorize something that you originally came from.
it's a slippery slope, though.
That is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
I'll
Then you
play
gotta-
devil's advocacy for that
Then
argument,
you
though.
gotta throw the Chinese up in there because I know a lot of these railroads. I don't know where you think they come from, but
J-Pat might be spitting.
bro,
But
if
then
it goes by
again-
railroad, you gotta thank the Chinese for it.
Yeah, but there wouldn't be no Chinese if niggas didn't migrate over from Africa.
I mean, to be determined, bro, because that was so much later in history.
I mean,
Like, keep
yeah,
in mind,
but like,
we did a good job of building up the economy. Because what
Yeah.
Cotton did for America is
What it did for
really
the-
hard to match that, right?
for the world.
But like, as far as like industrialism is concerned, bro, what the railroads did for America,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
'cause
the
it took
question becomes,
mathematics.
can white people actually be terrorists?
yes, they've been terrorizing the fucking world.
I mean, but in America, they kind of help cultivate. Oh, wait.
You
I'm
mean
sorry. I got
mean
white people
steal?
mixed up with Native Americans. That was
Yikes.
my bad.
There we go.
I was
There we
wondering
go.
when it was going to drop. I was like, wait a minute, nigga, where you going with
No,
this?
I knew it was coming. I was like,
Never mind. Got that confused with Native Americans. That was my bad.
oh yeah, no. To the Industrial Revolution, yeah, you can give the Chinese that because black people weren't allowed to learn math. So
All right.
that's a true statement.
I don't think Chinese people were allowed to learn at that time either, bro.
But they knew it. They knew how to read and write. What did we learn?
Them motherfuckers had the beads on the thing. What's it called?
Aberisk.
Nigga, we had just barely how to form fucking sentences after the Great Migration. Like,
Sheesh.
come on now.
Well, let me tell you, the tariffs for my line of work, it's been helping me a ton for the time being. 'Cause a lot of people, there's a fear
I
factor.
fucking hate this nigga
I'm
so
just saying,
much.
bro. There's a fear factor to it, which it's real.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can't knock people for doing it because when COVID hit, bro, like
Yeah.
the way the market shifted, I wouldn't want to be on the tail end of that either. But the tariffs are kind of presenting the same issue.
Mhm.
I just don't think. I mean, when I was talking what I kind of left
The
things
difference
off,
between tariffs and the pandemic was a global issue. The tariffs it's an unnecessary war against everybody else. Again,
but it's a global issue still. It's going to be the same results.
I'm gonna go back to my point about Australia. And again, it's because I'm a Black Magic Design buyer. And that's a company where I'm not spending less than $1,000 when I buy from.
Facts.
We have a trade surplus with them. We have a free trade agreement with them. Why are we putting a tariff on them at all? I don't care if a fuck. And the argument that the guy made, the head of trade that made was, well, they're receiving the minimal amount of tariff that everybody else is receiving. It's like, no. You're missing the point. Why is there a trade? Why is there a tariff on them at all?
Right.
We make more money from them than they make from us. And as a Blackmagic Design buyer, I'm pissed off about that. Because now I've had to put everything that I wanted to buy for this year, all of my 2025 goals for Blackmagic Design are on hold now. Because especially when NAB just came out last week, 2 weeks ago. Nigga. NAB just came out, and now I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, fuck, I got to add 10%.
Yeah.
$2,000 items coming out, now it's $2,200 items.
Mm-hmm.
That pisses me off because I'm like, I go to Blackmagic because they are cost efficient.
Yes.
Now you're making them less cost efficient.
Yep.
Because you think that if anybody has a tariff on us, we're being the pussy in the situation?
Oh, so I'm pussy?
I think the one thing about tariffs, because like I had heard of the word tariffs before, this like history and shit like that, but I wasn't really like familiar with it, right?
Right.
I think the one thing, like when I started looking into tariffs and like how they actually worked, I think the scariest part for me is like tariffs were essentially used as like a new age treaty, like post World War II, right?
Correct.
Like instead of me signing a piece of paper saying like I won't go to war with you, and then you piss me off, I'm just like, man, fuck that piece of paper.
Right.
Now it's like, well, hey, if I go to war with you, I'm gonna fuck up my own economy too, because we trade stuff with you, right? So the tariffs were kind of built in as like a peace treaty.
Yeah.
It's like kind of.
But tariffs are good in increments.
Yes.
Tariffs are good in increments.
Yes.
Like our chicken tariff. Our chicken tariff was it worked for our economy because it's a matter of like Madagascar. Madagascar is the #1 importer of vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make vanilla in America.
Mm-hmm.
Madagascar is the poorest fucking country on the planet. Them putting a tariff on their vanilla, you're making money for your country. And we don't make the product.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't pretty much make the product.
Yeah.
So you putting a tariff on it to bring money into the poorest country,
Makes sense.
cool. But you raising the tariff on everything is problematic, not even in the sense of like, if your goal is to pay off the deficit, cool, but just say that.
Right.
We're just trying to pay off the deficit. But you need to understand that you're not like being, the other countries aren't being fucking affected by that. Because us dumb Americans are going to pay more. I've been making this argument time and time again. That's why I'm not worried about the Trump administration doing what they do. I'm going to survive inflation. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
Because I have the luxury of, I have a federal job where my price goes up with the cost of living. And then I do freelance work where I up the price depending on the economy.
Exactly.
So I'm going to survive inflation. It's the other Americans that have their day in and day in jobs. They have families. I have the luxury of not having to worry about anybody else except myself and my company. But other people that have families, they have significant others, they have situations that they're involved in where they can't survive inflation.
Middle and lower class are gonna get hit the hardest.
The hardest.
Yeah.
And tax cuts are only going up to
the upper class.
Do you think we'll have a? Do you think there will be another depression? I know that we're already in a recession now,
I
but
think that we will have a statistical Great Depression based on where we are.
Yeah.
I think that we will have now this might change, my views might change in 90 days when the tariffs kick in. But right now, I think that we will have a Great Depression. However, I think they will use the argument, and by them, I mean the Republican media, because the Republican media is shitting right now. They are killing it right now. But I think that they will be able to redefine what is considered a Great Depression. Because, shout out to Jay Carter, but we've been in a recession for years.
Yeah.
But they have redefined time and time again what a recession actually is.
Because they're not going to say we're in a depression until we're actually like a year or two actually in the shit.
I don't even know if they will do that then. I think they will just be saying that we're in a fight to better America's economy.
I don't think they're going to admit that we're in a depression until it changes the party that's in that's in office.
Correct.
Because then they can put all the blame on them. Yeah.
Yeah, like if the Democrats win the next election, that's when we'll hear we're
Like-
under depression. But while Trump is in office, the Republicans ain't gonna come out and say it.
Absolutely. And
Like,
that was the
literally
most
they-
accurate statement you could have ever said. Was like they will never admit that they will all. I watched one guy fuck. Oh my god. I watched. I can't remember his last name. Benny from the Benny Show, and he was like, he made a statement, and it was just like watching the Glizzy Glaze. Everybody loses money. What's the matter if you lose money? When you were in high school, you spent money that you didn't need to spend. So losing money isn't a problem. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Everybody loses money, so it's fine to lose money? That's not how that works. If I preemptively know I would have lost money, I probably wouldn't have made that decision.
Right.
The problem is a lot of people, again, shout out democracy, but a lot of people have made decisions that they didn't know was gonna. We never heard about Doge before like Trump won. All these federal employees didn't know they were gonna be fired from their fucking job prior to the election.
I do want to back that up. I do have some Doge coins. They popped off a little bit.
That's not
like
the same as
2021.
Doge.
Oh yeah,
Department.
you're right.
The Department of Government Efficiency is not the same as Dogecoin. But even Doge was down during the stock drop. Significantly. And Doge is supposed to counteract the stock market.
Everything was down.
Everything is up for you niggas. Good luck. I will see you in 4 years, and I hope that your egg prices drop.
Something will drop all right.
Your ego.
No, you into the noose that you set up to hang yourself. That's what's gonna drop, bro.
Just kick the stool
Shit's
from
gonna
up
get
under
crazy.
yourself.
Yeah, shit's gonna get wicked, bro.
Don't worry, because if you off yourself, arise.
I got you.
And for our episode 100 plug of the week.
Nice.
That's crazy. That's a crazy segue.
For our episode 100 plug of the week, I am not giving you something that you can find on SoundCloud. I am giving you exclusive fucking music right here. 100, Our Sins and Woes. You can only find it here, and it's by our favorite artist, inarguably, in Our Sins and Woes history. Because I can say that now because we're 100 episodes in. At that point, we have history.
Right.
So, as one of our favorite artists in Our Sins and Woes history, the person that sings the intro and outro, the person that's been our plug of the week maybe 5 times to this day. It is your boy, Xavier Cloud, unreleased music. You cannot find it anywhere else but here or Limelight Vibes every Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. It is a song all the way in. Make sure you re-listen to this episode.
Right, because you can't find it.
Because you can't find it anywhere else. But if you want to find this artist, go to SoundCloud.com/Xavier Cloud. You will be able to find all of his music that he has released there, or just type into talk to your she who shall not be named, Amazon Echo. I can't say her name because she'll listen. And just type in play music by Xavier Cloud because it'll come up. But for our SoundCloud playlist plug of the week for episode 100, it is All the Way In by Xavier Cloud. Enjoy.
Check out the kicks on 10. Check out the wrist on 10. I'm out of space on 10. I'm hitting this bitch up again. Pussy so good, I bust faster than Sonic. I don't know who I'm gonna win. Took me a bite of Aphrodisiac chocolate. I'm finna go all the way in. 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 Feeding me cat, she chat up the ramen. I'm finna get up in the chin. Beat up the pussy so bad, it's a homie. The brand, I gotta forgive. I got a drip on boss. I'm a different kind of boss. Money green like a mouse. My galley for the loss. Got body for the posse. I ain't even got a posse. But we looking hella flosser. Nigga gotta get your cops up. Locked up like a rasta. Steady preaching, know you pasta. Noodle head, boy, you pasta. Spin a nigga like he pasta. That's long, it ain't chopped up. Baby phone got my rocks up. Glock on me, put your cocks up. Sleeping good, we ain't tossed up. Blue cheese, we the Foster. Bitch, I'll be back in a minute. I'm riding on black and it's tinted. When down to a cat and I'm spinning. I'm riding around and around and I'm sending. She dropping that pin in a minute. Girl, your love is a drug, yeah, I'm venting. Make love, I don't ghost any venting. Some boy got her order, she sent it. And she stuck up a tree, she got stunted. Before all her fresh ain't no lenses. Nigga, fuck all the bonds, we ain't manning. Nigga, fuck all the bridges, they burning. Nigga, fuck all these hoes, they are burning. They all riding around and they hurting. I guess it's a hurt people. Check out the kicks on 10. Check out the wrist on 10. I'm out of space on 10. I'm hitting this bitch up again. Cause it's so good, I bust faster than Sonic. I don't know who I'm gonna win. Took me a bite of Aphrodisio chocolate. I'm finna go all the way in. 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 Beating me cat, she chat up the ramen. I'm finna get up in the chin. Beat up the pussy so bad it's a habit. I'm praying, I gotta forget. Cause I'm finna go all the way
Finna go all the way in. I'm finna go all the way. And that is Xavier Cloud all the way in. Exclusive audio you can only find on our Sins and Woes because I got the plugs.
I need that song. I hate this nigga and he knows this, but I love him to death. Nigga, I need that song.
That part. And y'all need that song, but y'all can't get it unless it's on the Our Sins and Woes podcast. So go around, nigga. Go the long way around. Jesus Christ. So Xavier Cloud, one of my personal favorites, top 3 artists in the DMV, inarguably, okay?
Facts.
Keep going around. Keep going. There you go. But like I said, the only way you're gonna get the song is if you just go back and re-listen to this episode. So good luck, niggas. But again, that was the Xavier Cloud all the way in. He has performed at Limelight Vibes. So if you want to see other songs of that caliber and other performers of that caliber, make sure you tune in to Limelight Vibes every Wednesday. We live stream it straight to YouTube for your entertainment. You got anything for the free niggas before we say bye to them?
Later, free niggas.
That's crazy. I ain't got shit for y'all. For the free niggas, thank you for tuning in to Our Sins and Woes up to episode 100. I appreciate that. But I will give my final spiel to the Patreons and the Patreons alone. If you want to be a part of that, tune in for as low as $1 a month. You can't get anything in America for $1. Nothing
Not
can
even
you
a
get for
fucking
$1.
Not even a fucking dollar store.
You can't get anything in this country for $1, especially with these fucking tariffs. For $1. But here you can get Our Sins and Woes for as low as $1. And it gets you all the extended audio for every podcast. $5 gets you extended videos and Patreon exclusives. $15 gets you everything that YCC has to offer. Last Laugh, behind the scenes, all the other podcasts, all that shit. And I'm bringing back 2 Protests to Riot. And episode 0 is going to be a Patreon exclusive. So you might want to be a motherfucking Patreon for that. But with that being said, to my free niggas, I bid you adieu. This is your time, you non-NDA signing niggas. I say peace to you. Peace, free niggas.